Lee Dundas, human rights attorney. Let me be nothing if not clear. You can call this any damn thing you want. A vaccination verification system, a composite app, Inc. contract for $3.8 million buried in item 28. We all know it when we see it. It is a digital vaccine passport, and there's a reason Clayton Chau shied away from it on camera the other night and said people think it's controversial. Hell yes, it's controversial. It is the beginning and the end of Nazi Germany. It is show me your papers, please, before you pass. It is an electronic dog collar. And since when did Orange County become the People's Republic of China? You won't need Warsaw ghettos. I won't be able to leave my house because nobody will service me. Are you really okay with big tech knowing every damn place you've been, from Chipotle to the post office to Disneyland, because you had to scan it every single time you left your house? And do not for a second try to absolve yourselves saying, oh, the marketplace is going to do it. It's on Costco. It's on Disneyland. We're not doing it. That's like the guy who drove the cattle car to Auschwitz saying, there's no blood on my hands. Unlike you all call it what it is. This is a Nazi plan, and you are the Fourth Reich if you vote for it.
Hey guys, here we are down at Santa Ana Civic Center for Orange County Board of Directors. As you can see, there's like 200 people here behind me. Of course, nobody's masked because these are all free Americans. And as free Americans, we are waiting to get our 2 to 3 minutes to speak in front of the Orange County Board of Directors. I'm listening right now in on the dog and pony show that they're putting on in there. It's funny, the board of directors, they each have like a specific question that they're asking this doctor, and it's funny, the doctor's like, oh, good thing you mentioned that, I almost forgot. Because he has a certain bullet points he's supposed to tell everybody to believe, because people that are going to watch this later are getting a show. They're basically putting on a show. And I'm down here to support the other healthy Americans that are down here, but unfortunately I know that the only way for us to be free of this is to separate our natural person, being the living man, from the artificial person, being the Social Security dead corporate entity. So until people actually learn how to separate the two and become the living man or woman, they're going to struggle through this. You can't stop what they're doing. It's impossible to stop what they're doing because they're dealing in the corporate world. And as long as they're interacting with other corporate entities, they're free to do what they want. So we have to free ourselves and create our own communities. But I'm going to go in there and, give my 3 minutes simply to speak to the people, not the board so much, because the board is not listening. Their heads are down, they're not listening. I'm here to speak to the people. So again, just doing your part as much as you can. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So let's all squeak.
Hey guys, what's happening? It is your buddies Thor and Dude Man. I would say more Thor. Dude Man is over there sleeping, as he usually does when we jump on here. I am just checking in. I did another video I haven't edited yet. It's just been really, really busy time doing the hustle, So as many of us are, a lot of us don't have a regular job career that we had, previous to the scamdemic. So now we're busy hustling. So that's kind of what's going on here. And I will go ahead and put a link to my PayPal, and I will encourage people to share and all that good stuff, because if people show an interest in me continuing to do, which people are, they reach out all the time. And, again, if there's a way that I can kind of get some donations to help me do this more often, I'll be more than happy to spend more time digging into the research and sharing it with you. I'm still working on several different processes, and I have been contacted by Apple Inc. as well regarding my 1099As, 1099Cs. They were actually much more well-spoken, and that was a good conversation that I had with them. They just wanted to know basically they wanted to know if I knew what I was talking about. So we had a good conversation, and it ended really good. That video ended up crashing towards the end, but there wasn't anything exciting in there. I talked to the head of the tax, the tax lawyer for Apple Inc. And so I think he knew what he was talking about. He was asking me about 1099A, and the 1099C had stayed with the CFO. So apparently they processed the 1099C. So now my next step is to contact the IRS and make sure that's been processed, and then I can move forward. I haven't given you any more updates on that. Pardon for me clearing my throat. I haven't given you any updates on that because I don't have any yet. As far as T-Mobile sending me the email or letter that they said they were going to send me, they've sent me nothing. They said they were going to communicate. They communicated absolutely nothing. So again, I will get a hold of the IRS and I will let them talk to T-Mobile. So what is next? Oh yeah, my traffic ticket that I've been going back and forth with, we're still going back and forth. They have not dismissed the charges. Every process I've been trying, they have been denying. So I am now working with another guy named Harry Baldwin on a process that he uses. I like a lot of the stuff that Harry says. I don't know him very well yet. I've just been watching his videos. He does 1 to 2 minute videos, which are, great if you just want to get the info and get out. And when I go for my hikes and stuff, the speed hikes for 45 minutes, I like to listen sometimes to, so I can learn while I'm getting my sweat on. And they're very short videos, so I have to constantly be changing it anyway. That's just information you don't need. So, but it's really good stuff. I like what he has to say, and he talks about life in general, and people got to understand that there are a lot of aspects of life that play into the idea of us being free people. Okay, if you want to be a free living man, you got to tell the system that you have been locked into that you're a free living man. Because right now you have agreed that you are a dead corporate entity. You are a artificial person. And if you still have not gone to a law dictionary and looked up artificial person and natural person, then you're wasting your time listening to someone like me, because there is no remedy outside of that. You're not going to get remedy from statutes and codes. Okay, that's in their playground. They're going to move the gym equipment around the way they want. But if you learn living man, common law, natural law, God's law, there are many remedies out there available for us to use. And it's no one smoking, I want to say smoking bullet, smoking gun, silver bullet. There's no one particular process that anyone could just say, that's it, that's what you use all the time. And, there's a lot of different things that are going to come up. And I think the most important thing is for people to really start working on these things before you get into trouble. Because if you run into a brick wall and then you're panicking, if you're panicking and then trying to somehow get out of the system, it's not going to work very well for you. Okay, so the best thing to do is to be proactive and not procrastinate on this stuff, and really start to learn, what does he mean by being a free person? And again, person, you have to be the one to dictate to the courts what the word of person, what the meaning of person you're using. So when you say person, you have to say natural person. I'm the natural person, living man. You have to state it all the time in all of your paperwork, and anytime you're on record, you have to state it. I'm the natural person, living man, because if they say person, they're referring to artificial person. They're based on assumptions. It's always based on assumptions. Okay, you read a lot of the literature in the government literature, and it always says person, but it doesn't say which person. So your assumption can bury you. Okay. Don't work on your assumption. Start learning this stuff. And again, another reason I don't, share quite as much is, I don't see myself particularly as a teacher yet, because I would like to get some of this stuff working and get these processes down to where I'm having success and I can show you the money, baby. You know what I mean? But, right now I'm working through some processes. Like I got a passport without identifying as a U.S. citizen. It said, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" I said, "No, I'm a national. I'm an American national." So I was born on the land, on the nation, and I'm not of anything. I'm on the land. So it's important to know who you are. Your status is everything, especially when you go into court. And court can be over paperwork too. Okay, I'm doing all my stuff through registered mail. I'm not going into court. I'm handling court on your paperwork. Your paperwork is your court. Okay, and there is a way to handle your court through paperwork. The pen is mightier than the sword. You've heard that many, many times. Well, now it's time to start applying it. It's time to start finding out why we have some of these cliche sayings. They're placed there for a reason. And it's funny how a lot of these sayings will actually, there's something I learned. Sorry, I stopped mid sentence. I do that sometimes. There's something I learned from Harry. I watched one of his videos where he was talking about words, how they use words, and so we know that government means govern, to control, ment means mind. And then he went on further to say, look at all the words that control your mind with ment, like entertainment. It's like, there are so many different words that have the root word meant, or in the word, describing how they control your mind. So words are, spelling or casting a spell over you. They can control you with their words. The same way as they say, if your medical provider suggests that you don't wear a mask, don't wear one. Who provides your medical needs? You do. I do. If I need a specialist to help me, I'll go to a specialist. Who provides my vehicle needs? I do. If I need to buy a vehicle, I'll buy a vehicle, an automobile, I should say, not a vehicle. Vehicle is a commercial term. That's the trickery of the language. We have to make sure that we're using the correct language, because we have the right to travel freely in our automobile, our motorized conveyance. But if you say motor vehicle, according to the Supreme Court, motor vehicle means a commercial vehicle for hire. That's why the police officer will always try to get you to say motor vehicle and that you're driving or operating. Driving and operating are also commercial terms. But if you're not functioning in a commercial capacity, they have zero reason to pull you over. The minute they pull you over, you say, "Is there an emergency, officer? Your emergency lights are on. There must be some sort of an emergency that you pulled me over for. What is the emergency?" And they'll be like, "License and registration." You'd be like, "I'm not functioning in a commercial capacity. I'm not for hire. So there is no need for me to carry such items." So it's important to go through that. And this other video that I'm going to edit together has a little bit and piece from a new fella I just came across. I can't remember. His name's Paul something. And he had a great traffic stop. And again, traffic, I'm using their language. Traffic is, the moving of goods from one place to the other. That's a commercial term, traffic. So he was stopped while he was traveling freely. And he was stopped because he didn't have a license. A plate, a vehicle plate. Again, I'm using vehicle and automobile plate. So you'll get stopped, but if you know how to handle yourself and stand upon your own rights, and the other half of that is you will notify your DMV, you'll notify the police, state police, county police, city police. You're going to notify everyone of who you are and that they need to leave you alone. Okay, so if you identify yourself ahead of time and they know who you are ahead of time and you show them that you're the living man and you're not working in commercial capacity, then they've already been informed. It's better to do that than to get pulled over a few times while they think you're trying to get away with something. If they think you're trying to get away with something, they're going to harass you. But if you already have your paperwork in and you are, on record, then it should go a lot smoother for you. Okay. And again, I say that not having done that just yet. I'm in a little bit of a pickle because I travel with Dude Man all the time. And especially since he's gone blind, I'm a little bit nervous I don't mind standing on my rights and if they illegally kidnap me and take me to their prison, I'm not worried about that because I'll be out in a jiffy because I don't belong there. They cannot legally do that. And then I'll have a claim against their bond of office. But in the meantime, I don't know what they do with the blind dog. So I'm a little nervous about that. I'll tell you where I'm at with that right now. But learn the process. I've studied it all and I'm literally about ready to start, living my life in that way. But the first thing is to identify and file the correct paperwork to show that you are alive. Okay. Now, real quick, let's get to the main reason I'm sharing with you today, which is we just had a big meeting at the Orange County Board of Supervisors, which again is, I say a meeting. It's a big dog and pony show where they get everybody out there and they give you the illusion that your voice matters. It doesn't really matter. But I stopped what I was doing and I went down there for the day simply because I want to support all the other people that are going down there and having their voice, heard. And what I mean by heard is we're talking to the American people. We're not talking to the Board of Supervisors because they don't give a crap. But it's all the other people that might be watching the video. So there's a platform for us to reach people that may not necessarily be on, board with the concerns we have as far as our freedoms go.
We're all clapping for Fred, a 96-year-old World War II veteran who just spoke. And he just celebrated his birthday yesterday. And he spoke at the Orange County Board of Communists who want to enact a digital passport. So that's like the national ID for Hitler's Third Reich. So they're just clapping for him, still being of service after all these years. That's the man right there, the man, the myth, the legend. And, did you give him hell, Fred?
Did you give him hell?
Yeah. All right, that's what I like to hear. All right, say something to everybody. What did you tell them up there?
God bless America and keep us strong.
All right, God bless America, keep us strong. That's right. We all got to stick together on this one. So, how about you? You feel good about that?
I did.
All right.
I did. Yes. I am so excited to just be one voice in all of us because it will make a difference.
That's right. That's right. Takes many waves in the ocean. So,
Every drop counts.
yep. A ripple equals a wave. Many ripples equal a wave. I think that's what I meant to say.
All right.
My name is Ryan of the family Thor. I am here to speak to the American people, actually, because Hitler had paid doctors on his staff as well. And those questions you were throwing him in your scripted reality TV show were laughable at best. There's a reason we're not allowed to converse with that doctor because he would not be able to stand upon legitimate questioning because we all know that this is quite the, like I said, a scripted circus is what you have going here. And people need to understand that there are two people that they're operating under. There are natural people and there are artificial persons. Okay, they need to separate the two. That is the message I have for everybody out there, is to learn about the artificial person, your social security vessel. And you are not that. You are the living man. I am the living man. I am not the social security vessel. You split the two, and then we can put a claim against your bond of office. And that is how we can affect a change here. Thank you. Thank you.
You should see the number of people that came out to see you today. It was really something out there in the courtyard. Wonderful. We the people are here. We the people are powerful, and we the people are never going to stop. We the people know what you're doing. There is no emergency. There never has been any emergency. The numbers don't support it. You are perpetuating the notion of an emergency to get money, to impose tyranny, and to impose these unlawful vaccine verification or requirements. Even if this could be called an emergency, no emergency suspends one's rights. Rights cannot be taken from you. You are perpetuating fraud, and fraud is a felony, and a felony carries a prison sentence. You know, it doesn't matter whether the vaccines work or not. It doesn't even matter whether they are vaccines or not. What matters is that each individual has sovereignty and authority over their own body. We know what you're doing. We know exactly what you're doing, and we, the people, are never going to stop.
They may be like, just get the shot and just allow the vaccination passport to happen. And if you notice, they did not pass any laws about masks, okay? They simply were able to convince business owners that that was what they wanted them to do, and that there might be repercussions if they don't do what they're supposed to do. And of course, they make it virtue signaling for the business. Don't you want to protect people in your town? And so the businesses took the initiative to start segregating people and telling people they won't serve them unless they have a mask on. So, and again, this is in the tricky area where if you want to be private and free, a living man, then you have to allow other people to do what they want to do too. So if that business doesn't want to serve me because I'm not wearing a mask, freedom is freedom. I can't want to live as a living man free of their statutes and codes if I'm not going to respect them wanting to live free under the statutes and codes. If they want to live that way, they can live that way. I can live this way. So unfortunately, what I've come to is I believe that we should mind our own business when it comes to that. Mind our own business. So my own business will not have any masks involved. Their business does. That's not my business. So why am I minding their business? So, and which I know a lot of people are like, but it's against the law. No, it's against a statute and code, a civil code, again, which only applies to corporations. You're not a corporation. At least you shouldn't be. If you're functioning under the Social Security number, you are a corporation. So before I digress again, here is what I had to say at the county meeting. And then my good friend Peggy, who always is very sharp, well-spoken. And then I forget the other gal's name, but she's a pistol, so I wanted to put her in there. So let's check these videos out real quick. So that is what I spent the day doing on Tuesday. And, I had to wait there like 2 hours. Then they took a lunch break. And then we came back, waited another hour or two. But, it was just important. It's important to practice your speaking, okay? You could see I was not particularly prepared. I literally got the email and I was in my workout clothes. And it was like I had to make a decision. I had just got to the park and it was like, well, I either blow it off because I'm like, you know what? They're not really going to hear us anyway. But the truth of the matter is a bunch of people were showing up to, represent freedom or present freedom, I should say, not even represent it, just to present freedom. So I thought it was important that I support that. And this is the group of healthy Americans that Peggy Hall kind of leads, and it's her whole brainchild. So, I support Peggy. I think the statutes and codes things that were trying to accomplish over there. It's an immediate attack, just because an immediate attack on the enemy. So I understand that part of it, but I think the future of freedom is going to be placed in people stop identifying as a Social Security person and start to identify as the living man or woman in controlling that Social Security business. It is a corporation. The Social Security number is attached to a fictitious artificial person business. People have to understand that. It is separate. You are two, okay? And then you're going to start a nonprofit bank number that you're going to operate in, and that's your 3-in-1. Okay, the Bible is a banking book. It's a book with banking information in there on how this world really works. They're all metaphors and stories and parables and this and that. The parable of the talents, those how those talents work. How if the one guy didn't forgive the other one's debt, then they were in big trouble. All of those stories are coded with how the banking practices work in this reality that we live in. So that's your 3-in-1. You have 3 names for one person. That's your 3-in-1. You are the creator because you are the living individual. You are the soul. Okay. And again, I'm not saying that there's not a power greater than me. Of course there is, or greater than I. Of course there is. There's something that put this whole thing together, right? So I don't know what it is. Nobody does. I don't care what you say. Nobody's been there and come back and said, I can tell you exactly what it is. I'm going to write it down in the Bible. That Bible was put together by many different authors. They spent $1 billion in today's money for King James to come out with that first Bible. And they say it's written from scrolls that they found in caves, and they can tell you whatever they want. That's just like they tell you that dinosaurs, exist. So we have no way to know except to just trust what they say. So what I do is I trust the intuition that God gave me. I trust, and I've been in church my whole life. And I went to church last Sunday, and I do occasionally go to church just to fellowship with the rest of the people, because I know that we all believe that there is a power that we call love or God, or, there is some sort of something that put this whole reality together. This wasn't a big bang. Okay. That's nonsense. But it's very important. I'm all evidentiary based, I can tell there's love and I can tell there's intelligent design to this world. I hug another person, I feel the love. Okay. I'm separated from other people for a while, I feel the void of love. Okay. That tells me that there's some other power that's greater than I. And I just refer to it as God because that's the word I've used my whole life. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't use that word. Some people want to say, oh, it's Yeshua, and it's like, all right, well, you can call it shoestring if you want to. You can call it whatever you want. Nobody knows the actual name. And for everybody to keep insisting that they know the name, Christ is simply a title, the exalted. It's not his last name. Nobody knows the birth of Jesus. The most important Messiah ever. And by the way, there's many other Messiahs that have the exact same story if you look back in history. And yes, they predate Jesus as well. And again, this isn't to knock on again, like I said, I still go to church because I know we all have the same God. But now you've learned a particular book that says there's 3-in-1, and nobody can explain the 3-in-1. Nobody. My mom gets so mad at me when I say, okay, so when Jesus was hanging on the cross and he said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. Who was he talking to? Was he talking to himself? I'm like, so anyway, I digress. The Catholic Church is the one that decided we were going to celebrate Jesus' birthday on the biggest pagan holiday of the year, the winter solstice. So why the Catholic Church is in charge of making the celebration on a giant pagan holiday, that should be a little bit of a heads up that there's something that's not right. But again, the main point I'm getting at is that, you know, we all know that there's love and there is a power greater than us. And that transcends. That's all we really need to focus on. You know, and my mom will tell me every time she talks to me, I'm so scared for you. You can't go to heaven without Jesus. That's her belief. And it is a belief because of a book that she reads. And that's as far as that goes. And you watch the way that she analyzes other information too. And I can see why she can't escape that. We've only been offered certain religions. It's like, take your pick. You have this, you have this, you have this, or you have that. Which one are you going to identify with? When the truth is, none of them. We all have our own relationship with the power greater than ourselves. It's our relationship. And to assume that somebody is not searching out a true relationship with that power greater than themselves simply because they don't believe your book is judgmental, stupid, ignorant. To think that somehow they don't have the knowledge. Now, I've read that book backwards and forwards. I went to Christian middle school, Christian high school, Christian university. I've had that Bible in my ass most of my life for many years. Pardon that. So I don't come from a place of ignorance. I don't come from a place of hate either. I had many very powerful spiritual experiences with the way church is set up to help you have an experience. You know, they set the music and the mood. I also played in the bands, so I know very carefully how it's just perfectly timed and, you know, and to sway people's moods. And, you know, the right song at the right time can make anyone cry, you know, and being quiet in a room with a bunch of people who are all seeking to release themselves from pain is powerful. You know, it is a powerful atmosphere to be in, and it's very easy to have this incredible experience. And then you have the pastor tell you that it's the Holy Spirit. So in your head, you connect the two. You're like, all right, I had this experience and he said it's the Holy Spirit. So it's the fucking Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit. And then you just go out and you tell people it's the Holy Spirit. You know, it could be, you call it whatever you want. I call it God. You know, I think there is a ultimate power greater than myself. I don't know. Like, is there 2 or 3 of them operating together? I don't know. Like, nobody really knows what. I don't know. All I know is there is something more powerful, and I know it's based on love, and that we are being challenged every day of our life. Are you going to continue to be the best version of yourself, or are you going to throw in the towel and just start feeding your carnal desires, you know, and escaping the world? That's why antidepressants are so popular, because you can go to a doctor and a doctor tells you, get on drugs, man. Take some drugs. You need drugs. Your brain is out of balance and you need drugs. When the truth is your spirit is out of balance and you need practice. You need practice meditating. You need practice praying. You need practice just loving your neighbor and stopping to talk to people on the street. You need practice just accepting other people's flaws. It takes practice every day. It takes patience. It's not easy to live in the world that we live in, especially if you are of the same mindset that I am, where we identify that this is all bullshit. This COVID, you know, the way they have set up this false flag is what it is. It's a false flag. So they've done something to get some people sick and just enough people to where it scares the rest of the world into getting the vaccination, which is on my other video coming. but it is not what they're saying. It is not spreading like a pandemic at all in any way, shape, or form. They're doing it simply to push their tyrannical laws and to mislead the masses, and it's working like a charm. So those of us that are awake, I talked to Peggy about this the other day, like, well, why are we awake and these people are not? What is it? You know, I don't know. I remember somebody reading it to me, a passage in the Bible where God shows the light to certain people. I don't remember where that's at. I would really like to remember where it's at, or have somebody help me remember where that's at, because it's a very powerful statement. You know, God, why does he reveal the light to some people and not others? I don't know. I do not choose this for myself necessarily. I mean, it's a real painful experience to have to go through. I don't know why. But just like my dog went blind, I don't know why that happened either. I don't know. It's my journey. It's what I got to do, right? I don't know why I got a knee that I have to constantly work on to keep it, you know, from being painful. I don't know. We all have our own journeys, you know, just like somebody who's born with a skin disease, or, you know, people who have autoimmune issues. Although most of those are vaccine related. I had a conversation with a lady this morning who's like, are you of the camp that vaccines cause autism? And I said, they cause all kinds of problems. I'm like, yes, I am definitely of that camp. And you can check out Dr. Jeff Bradstreet if you want to learn more about the connection with autism and vaccinations. Of course, Vaxxed, the movie Vaxxed, covers it. But Jeff Bradstreet was healing people using a natural substance that our body creates, but doesn't create enough of it in kids with autism, called GCMAF. So you produce GCMAF, and it's been curing kids. And they said that Jeff Bradstreet went down, threw himself in the river, shot himself twice in the chest with a rifle, and decided to just give up after curing thousands of people. He couldn't take that success anymore. He just had to. And the whole reason he learned about autism was because his son was autistic. So, yeah. So, yeah. Stay away from those vaccines for sure. You know, this whole reality is a challenge, because there is something waiting after the physical body dies. Your soul is going to remain. Your spirit is going to go somewhere else to do something else. Nobody knows what it is. Okay, that Bible does not tell you, you know, you can't listen to, oh, we're going to heaven. You know, I tell you what, on the most beautiful day here, when we're quiet and we're in nature, you know, this is a very heavenly place to be. It's only when we allow ourselves to get involved in the worldly things, that's when it seems like hell. So heaven and hell may very well be right here. Those who choose heaven and those who choose hell. I got a good friend of mine, love him to death. He works all the time. He works a lot so that he can have his truck and his Porsche, and he likes to make money. But it affects his relationship. His girlfriend wants more of him. And she works a lot and makes a lot of money. And she wants to spend it, and he doesn't want to spend it. And so it's, you know, you think about the construct of money and working. And there's a balance to everything, right? There's a balance to the need for money, and there's a balance to the need for work. And what are you going to sacrifice in order to get certain things? So that's the heaven and hell push and pull here. You know, when I go on a hike with my dog, I'm in heaven. It is sun on my bare skin. Everybody asks, like, how do you get so tan? I'm like, I get out in nature. I feel great. You know, people love the look of the tan. Why are people so just biologically programmed to be attracted to a tan? What have you ever stopped to think about why people are attracted to somebody with a tan. I think it represents fitness. It represents health, because people just instinctively know if you got a tan, you must be somewhat healthy. Somewhat, I say. There are fat guys out there with tans too, don't get me wrong. But, because, the vitamin D that you get from having a tan is unmatchable. You cannot buy it in a bottle. You cannot capture vitamin D in a bottle, just like the sun will give you. And it's very important. So instinctively, biologically, we know that we can get a tan. Just like when girls are aging and they hit puberty and, they look way older than maybe they are. But biologically, we're just designed for reproduction. So that's why when, the daughter starts coming into her body, it's important for her to dress modestly, because she's now representative of somebody who could bear children and somebody who could start a family. And that just biologically triggers men, because we are meant to build families. So we're biologically triggered that way, so that's why it's important that we also govern ourselves and, we live a modest life. Don't show all that skin, especially if you're still learning, in the stages of learning. If you're not an adult, I don't even think adults should really be trying to live their lives on sex appeal. It should be based on something much more than that. But anyway, my whole point is we have certain biological traits in our bodies and in our minds. And one thing is tans. We're designed to reproduce. We're designed to conserve energy and eat. So these are the three things that we have to do. Conserve energy is laziness. If it's an imbalance, it's called laziness. And we're all designed to reproduce, obviously. It's probably, not the number one thing for the ladies, but it's definitely the number one thing for guys. Because without reproduction, we're not going to be anywhere, which leads us into this whole, the whole V thing that they're trying to do to people is most likely sterilization. That is the most, from all the research I've looked at, from what Bill Gates was all about, delivering the Zika virus in a mosquito. The Zika virus is a virus specifically designed to sterilize for generations, not just one generation, 2 generations, 3 generations. So the Zika virus most likely was a predecessor to whatever virus they are putting out there today. And I don't even think it's necessarily the virus that's the issue. They use the virus to cause people to consent to the V, and I think it's in the V itself where they're going to sterilize everybody. If you look at the Georgia Guidestones, number 1 on the Georgia Guidestones: maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Okay, if you're not familiar with the Georgia Guidestones, you are out of touch. Okay, the Georgia Guidestones are multi-million-dollar stones. They're multi-ton stones. They're giant. They're monolithic giants, and they've been updated too. I can't remember, it was 2002, but they've been updated. So people are, they are maintained. So who spends multi-million dollars on and they're well protected too. So people who want that message to stay there. So how do you get the world down to 500 million? You can't just murder everybody and get away with it, right? It's just too many people to murder, right? So it'd be a full-time job. But if people suddenly stop having children for the next 3 generations, which is in the other video I'm going to put up too. If they stop having children for 3 generations in less than 100 years, you'll be down to 500 million. All the rich families will have all the money. They got all the robotics they need now to take care of things they need to take care of. You're not necessary anymore. As they say, you are a useless eater, steaks on the tables, by choice and consent. If you're one of those people who know that it's wrong, but you're just going along to get along, then you are the problem. You are just as guilty as the sick bastards that are doing this stuff in the first place. You have to draw the line in the sand. There is a path of the wide path of ease and comfort, and then there's the path of the righteous, which is very, very narrow. The path of the righteous is narrow because not many people have courage to go down that path. Okay? You have to be courageous in everything you do. This is not going to be a short race and then it's going to go back to normal. This is going to be, it's been a continuous struggle. You know, I can remember my mom, as embarrassing as it is, back in like, you know, late 80s, you know, wearing, I wanted spandex for, you know, to wear underneath my shorts. I didn't just want to wear spandex to have my balls hanging out. You know, I wanted spandex because it was the popular thing to do. But for some reason, like my mom she thought that there was something really wrong with spandex. And she certainly didn't want her child wearing spandex, you know, without any shorts on top. I kept telling her I want to wear shorts on top, you know. But anyway, the whole point is she had a few, you know, conservative ideas that it made sense, you know, because people now all wear I know grown men who wear spandex without any shorts on top. And I care not to see their balls hanging out either. And just their asses and, you know, and girls. Now it's pretty normal for girls just in everyday life to wear, you know, spandex. I don't think they call it spandex anymore. I don't know what they call it now, but you know, fitness pants, yoga pants, I guess they call it. But it's spandex, you know. So, and that is, again, it's hypersexualized. So, I mean, I'm just as guilty. Like, you see a fine lady in some spandex, and you're like, oh man, look at that booty, you know. So, you get what you ask for. If you're wearing stuff like that, you can't be surprised when guys are gawking at you. You know, if you're a good-looking gal, then expect that. If you're not a good-looking gal, you got no business wearing that spandex. Sorry. So yeah, it's really an interesting place, but they spent decades and decades and decades. You know, this has been a 100-year plan. This didn't just come about. It's been a 100-year plan. If you read any of the Masonic literature and if you follow any of those teachings, then you can easily see how this plan has been worked for a long time. It's a multi-generational plan. Just like the churches they used to build. Like, they didn't see the church finished. It was their son or their grandchild that finished the church because they were multi-generational carpenters and stone masons. You know, these people would be working on this church for, I can't remember, the one in Cologne, Germany. I think did they work on that church for like 700 years or something? It was a long time. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it was a long time. And it's a massive church. So nobody saw it completed. You know, whoever started it didn't see it. Whoever worked in between didn't see it. It was the last generation. And this is the same thing. They made a multi-generational plan. That's where did the Mayans go? Where did the Aztecs go? Where did the ancient Egyptians go? You know, they all just disappeared. Like, where did they go? And in the Aztecs it's in the Mayans, they actually had Masonic symbols in the Mayan temples. So the Masons have been around a long time. And civilizations have rose and fall and rose and fall. And the people just kind of keep moving around. And we're kind of at the end of that now because every corner of the surface of Earth is, except, of course, for Antarctica. If you haven't looked into Antarctica yet, go look into Antarctica. And again, I don't do videos on this stuff because there's a lot of people that have done videos, although I will tell you, my list of videos has been decimated. Like, I'm just heartbroken how many have been deleted, how many channels have been shut down. I go in to scroll through some of this stuff and share it with people, and I'm like, it's all gone. It's all gone. But Antarctica is the oldest standing treaty in the world with every single country, even countries we're murdering, and they're murdering us back. we're killing each other. But when it comes to Antarctica, we're like, hey, I agree we shouldn't go there and you shouldn't go there. None of us are going to, okay? Publicly speaking, nobody's supposed to go there. But there's definitely some sort of secret regarding Antarctica. So theorize what you want. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. You can't go to Antarctica. And I know people will say, yes, you can. You can take... Listen, they take you to a little icy island somewhere or a little tip. All right. They'll give you just the tip. Okay. But you can't go into Antarctica and go and just keep going south. Okay. They won't let you do that. They'll take you to some place that they tell you is Antarctica. And then that's that. So anyway, I'm not going to keep on rambling on for now. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what's going on. Dude Man's doing great, by the way. That's right. He's over this shoulder. He's doing amazing. I mean, he's so remarkable. I'm just so proud of him. He's such a good boy. And he's doing great. He's tired. We had 6 mile hike yesterday, about 1,700 feet. It was a doozy. So he's a little 13-pound dog. Blind. It's incredible. So I'm working on getting that documented too. So I have some more things in the works. I got lots of irons in the fire. But I just wanted to come check in with you. Again, if anybody made it this long and you want to donate to my PayPal, just put a little note on there. You like what I'm doing and I'll keep doing it. Otherwise, I'm spending a lot of time just trying to get myself situated, and I'll check back in from time to time. But if there is, more people interested in me being here more, I'll be here. If people want to donate and help me that way, then I'll make more time to be here. And then I can do some more really in-depth research videos like I did before. If you go back and look at, by the way, if you haven't gone back and look at a lot of my other videos I've done already, go back and look at those videos too. And I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always trying to make this a better experience. I've considered doing 5-minute videos like Harry. Well, Harry does like 1 or 2 minutes, but I've considered doing really short videos. Maybe people can't handle sitting around for, 45 minutes. Most of these you can just listen to. Some of them have a lot of video stuff in it, but let me know what you think. Put your thinking caps on. Everything that comes across, you have to think about it. People send me stuff all the time. Don't believe everything that's out there. Some lady was sending me something on adrenochrome, and I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar, with the whole process, but you have to look for the evidence in there. Okay. I mean, I can't say 100% that it's on a commercial scale that they do these things. I don't even know for sure, any evidence that's out there that they do it. I mean, it sounds like a sick thing that they do, because they're pretty sick people. But this lady says that they were, or not the lady, but the video she sent me, they said that they found it on a USB stick. It just fell into their lap. All this detailed information. So anyway, just be careful what you read. Read everything, listen to everything, believe nothing, as the great Bill Cooper said. And even Bill Cooper, I don't know. Like, he never talked about a lot of the things that we're hearing about these days. And it sounds like there's a lot of those processes going on. He never talked about separating yourself from the Social Security person. But I got a lot out of it. That's why I listened to it, because it exposed the whole other side of this evil, like why they have their secret societies and stuff like that, and some of the rituals and stuff that they do within that secret society. So anyway, reach out. Feel free to reach out anytime. My email is out there. Email me anytime. If you want to email me, I'll shoot you my phone number and we can always chat. So until then, I will see you guys later. Hey, dude, man. Hey, dude, you want to say bye-bye to everybody? Nah, he's like, no. You good, baby. Daddy loves you. Bye-bye. Okay, I'll see ya.